So, when you hear the name Bill Gates, what comes to mind? Microsoft, right? Staggering wealth and this just relentless, almost obsessive drive to win. But here's the twist. What if that very man, the one who pretty much wrote the book on success for an entire generation, came to believe he got it all wrong? That's what we're going to dive into. The incredible story of how he completely reevaluated, well, everything. And this quote right here, this really sums it up. This is the Bill Gates we think we know. The guy with that monomaniacal focus. For him, giving up weekends, skipping vacations, that wasn't a sacrifice. He loved it. Work wasn't just a job, you know? It was the whole point. And yeah, that's the mindset that builds an empire.
So the big question is, what on earth could make a guy like that think he was wrong? It's a great question, right? And the answer, well, it's not some big dramatic moment. It's more of a slow burn, a lifetime of lessons from some really unexpected people, a journey that would totally reshape how we saw the world.
Okay, so let's rewind. Let's go back to the very beginning, the early days of Microsoft. The culture there, well, in his own words, it was hardcore. And he meant it. It was intense, super confrontational. The only thing that mattered was the work, period. And the mission that was fueling all of this, honestly, most people thought it was completely nuts.
I mean, people literally laughed at this idea. A computer on every desk, in every home. It sounded like science fiction. But see, Gates and his small team, they saw something nobody else did. They saw a future where computer power would get so cheap it was almost free. And they were convinced that their software was the key to unlock that future for every single person. It was that one crazy belief that fueled everything, that made them work harder, think smarter, and just plain outmaneuver everyone else in the game.
But, you know, a mindset that intense can't last forever in a vacuum. It was bound to be challenged. And those challenges started to come from outside forces. Actually, they started right at home, with the people who knew him way before the world knew him as Bill Gates.
His parents were this amazing balance of energies. You had his mom, who was just a total powerhouse. She had these super high expectations and was always pushing him to do more, to be more. And then you had his dad, who was the complete opposite. Calm, thoughtful, measured. He was like the ultimate backup, you know? The steady hand on his shoulder when things got crazy.
And this little phrase here, "I hear you," it perfectly captures his dad's whole style. There's this great story where his dad is in this really tense negotiation, and instead of coming in hot and getting all aggressive, he just listens, and then says, "I hear you." That's it. It was just this masterclass in how to hold your ground without starting a fight. And for a young Bill Gates, who was all fire and intensity, that lesson about finding common ground really stuck with him.
Now this is the surprising one. As a teenager, he was a handful. Super rebellious. And his parents made what he now calls a brilliant move. They sent him to a therapist. And the therapist was amazing. He didn't try to shut him down or tell him he was wrong. He just got Gates to see that all the energy he was spending fighting the people who loved him, it was a total waste. And boom, just like that. All that incredible, intense energy got rechanneled into something way more productive.
Okay, so his thinking is already starting to shift. And this next part of his evolution, it came from his relationship with probably his greatest rival ever. I mean, the story of Bill Gates and Steve Jobs is the stuff of legend, right? But the real story, it's so much more interesting than the simple myth.
Yeah, from the outside, we all just saw them as these arch rivals, locked in this epic battle for the soul of computing. And don't get me wrong, they were fiercely competitive. But underneath all that, there was this really deep mutual respect for what the other guy brought to the table, for their completely unique kind of genius.
I mean, just listen to this. These are Bill Gates' own words about Steve Jobs. That's not rivalry talking, that is pure, genuine awe. He could see that Jobs had this kind of magic, this talent that he just couldn't explain, and that he didn't have. And what's amazing is, he wasn't afraid to say it out loud. It's almost like they were two sides of the same coin. Gates was the engineer's engineer, right? He lived in the code, obsessed with making things faster, smaller, more efficient. But Jobs was the artist. He had this insane intuition for people, for design, for how technology would actually feel to use. So they weren't just rivals, they were two totally different kinds of visionaries, kind of pushing each other and the whole industry forward at the same time. So you've got these lessons from his parents, from a therapist, even from his biggest competitor. And all of it, it was all building up to the biggest shift of his life. It led to a complete and total rethink of what success even means. What was all that hard work and all that money actually for?
And look, we have to talk about the money. He built one of the biggest fortunes in the history of the world. It's a number so huge it's hard to even wrap your head around, right? It's just abstract. And then he came to this absolutely staggering conclusion about what he was supposed to do with it.
Think about how radical this statement is. He basically decided that having that much money is almost illegitimate, wrong, unless you give it back in a really smart way. He stopped seeing wealth as this prize you win at the end of the game. Instead, it became this massive responsibility, a tool that you have to use to help people. And that part about doing it in a smart way is key. Otherwise, for him, there was just no moral reason to even have it.
And he didn't just stop there and write checks himself. He wanted to make this a movement. So he co-founded the Giving Pledge, which is basically a promise from the world's richest people to give away most of their money. He was trying to change the very culture of wealth, to shift what society expects from its most successful people.
And this is where it all comes full circle, isn't it? It goes right back to his mom. Remember, she was the one with the high expectations, always pushing him. Well, she was also the one who taught him from a very young age that if you're lucky enough to be successful, you have to give back. It took him a few decades to fully get there, but that lesson she taught him as a kid, it ended up becoming the mission of the rest of his life.
So, after all that, what can we take away from this incredible journey? Well, Bill Gates' life has some really powerful and maybe surprisingly simple lessons for pretty much all of us. Okay, first off, you gotta find what you love to do. That passion, that's the fuel that's gonna get you through the tough spots. Second, and this is a big one, you can't be afraid to fail. I mean, this guy dropped out of Harvard. It was a huge risk, but he knew that failing wasn't the end of the world. And third, and honestly, this might be the most crucial one of all, you have to make time to just think.
No, seriously, think about this. Even when he was the CEO of one of the biggest companies on the planet, he would take these think weeks. 2 weeks, twice a year, completely by himself, in a cabin somewhere. No phone calls, no meetings, no news, just a stack of books and his own thoughts. He is absolutely convinced that our best ideas don't come from the hustle and bustle. They come from that slow, quiet, deep thinking.
And that really leaves us with a huge question for right now, doesn't it? Bill Gates' transformation from that hardcore founder to a global philanthropist, well, it took a lifetime. But today, new technologies like AI are creating these massive new fortunes at a speed we've never seen before. So the question is, will the builders of this new world learn that same lesson about giving back? And maybe more importantly, will they learn it in time?